Welcome back to Let's Play The Last of Us. We had just reached a subway, where unfortunately the fireflies we ran into were dead. Now we're gonna go hand Ellie off to the fireflies, but these weren't the people we were after, so we're gonna move on.
Almost out. Okay, Joel, you take point. I'll watch the rear. Ellie, no matter what, you stay right on his heels. Sure. You stay sharp.
I got it.
Unfortunately, this room is just chock full of infected. So probably the best way to get through this is to sneak around, because fighting them head-on is kind of a stupid idea, because there are a number of clickers in the room. And remember, clickers will insta-kill you, or at least they can. And any more than one, like, you can use a shiv to defend yourself against the clickers and all that, but you just have to be careful about it. See here, check this out. Come on. Ha! You need a shiv to insta-kill a clicker, whereas one of these regular inflected, these runners here, you can just choke them out. Now you have to be careful when using thrown objects to distract enemies, because ordinarily they are stuck on a sort of, like a sentry pattern, where they just wander from one point to another, and they follow this pattern predictably. Just simply AI controlled. But in the event that you go and you throw an object, you change that, and now the AI no longer following a strict pattern, it is going and allowing them to basically go any freaking direction they feel like. So it'll make predicting the moves that they make, which directions they walk into, which hallways or rooms or doorways they're going to stand in, much harder to predict. So be careful when throwing objects. Fortunately, in this room you're going to find a number of these runners have their hands in front of their eyes, which, like this one right here, this one wouldn't see you if you walked up to it, which lets you do the strangle kill. Now, finding your way through here isn't really terribly hard, but if you want to find all the little extra things, you have to wander around to the other side of the room and access a safe in like a grocery store or whatever, a bookstore. And we're going to go and do that. Unfortunately, you'll find it doesn't really work out that well for me. Try it anyway, but this whole sound thing is really a good way of determining where all of the infected are, since generally they make a lot of noise, except for the lurkers or whatever they're called. They don't make a lot of noise.
Oh, this way. We're almost out of this. Come on. Shit.
They can't hear you talking? Huh. Up. What's this? Is he after us? I'll take that as a no. Let's get rid of this bastard. Oh, that was a weird noise. I love the little comments that the other characters make whenever you do something like that. Fuck! Really, they should be quiet, but sometimes you're just going to go and make things, because if you don't, you're not going to have enough inventory space to pick up more items, which can involve you making really stupid things like the smoke bombs, which really aren't that useful. But you end up making them anyway because you can't pick up more stuff. Fortunately, most of the infected that you'll encounter in this place are either the blind clickers, allowing you to sneak around, or the runners, who are covering their eyes. Okay, here's a safe. Don't bother inputting a combination. You don't have to. Just pick up some stuff and move on. The thing about this little room here, it's probably been a number of years since any non-infected person has made the trip through here, right? I wonder why the infected go and sort of congregate in rooms like this. Most of them are either blind or don't care about vision, so I guess being in a dark room doesn't bother them any. But why they hang out in places like this, I wonder. I wonder if the developers of the game had this kind of, that kind of thought worked out in their heads, and whether these monsters had any sort of motivation. Oh, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work out. Let's try something else, shall we? Let's go sneak up. See if we can sneak up behind this one. This one's a clicker, so we're gonna need a shiv. There we go.
Oh, man.
And the way you have to get out of here, and the way I didn't realize the first time I was moving through here, is you gotta boost Tess up here to pull the ladder down. Oh man, it's a lot of noise. Get up the damn ladder. Quit screwing around. We home free? Well, we're out of the dark. I guess it's much safer outside than it is inside. Oh, we're not quite outside yet. Okay, there we are. Still a little ways away from the Capitol building, so they're going to have to move on from here. Now, we will find infected on the street, because they don't just hang out in the sewers and subways and crap. They're hanging around outside.
Where we going, Tess?
Capitol building's in this direction.
Really? Yeah, it is in this direction, but we just can't get there quite yet. Some of the other little puzzles, we haven't really seen a whole lot of these. Well, we've seen a few examples of those so far. Is the move this item into this location so they can use it to climb over to get to the next area. This one's not looking, we'll be fine. And that's what we have to do here. Oh, look at these. These are recent infected. These are also members of the these were army members who were infected. So they were out on patrol, I imagine, and Joel will make note of this, that they were out on patrol, then infected. Oh, damn. That's nasty.
All right.
They're recently infected.
Which means there's more in the area. We gotta go.
Yeah, so you gotta move on.
All right.
Both more armies probably in the area and more infected, because whoever infected these people might still be around. I think it's kind of funny to think that despite 20 years after the initial infection and when the game started and all that kind of stuff started happening, the threat of infection, not just the threat of the infected zombies themselves, but the actual infection is still considered a threat. And as long as people are being exposed to it, like eventually anybody who's infected will fuse to the wall and they'll stop running around trying to infect people, and they'll release spores and all, but as long as you stay away from them, you'll be fine. So eventually you'd think the problem would solve itself. All the clickers would fuse to the wall, you'd be good. But no, people are still being infected, and as long as that's continuing to happen, the threat will be persistent. That's bad.
Okay, double time. They're coming!
I know.
Okay, that's good, go! You got something on your shoe.
Ew.